Where were the cleanouts? Well, your car was
See you. I'm not going there.
Yeah. Oh, you got boys. They try to see how we'll treat it up here. Been saying. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Before we begin, I would like to invite Jake Gilmore, friend of the program, to lead us in the national anthem. So those flags are, take it away.
I long to be thy, but the founding people and not you, whose God shines and bright stars through the sky, for the round that we watch. Words of heaven is free, and the rising of our first came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say the scouts are sanguine, and for the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
You may all be seated. Hey, Jack. I have to tell you, I have been, people close to me know, I've been really, really nervous. And I have to tell you that once, I totally relaxed. Because this is all about them and they have done such an incredible job. One of the things about our previous judge was telling me is she could always hold it together. I am not her. So forgive me already. I really want to thank all of you for being here to celebrate these 15 graduates. I became the presiding judge in drug court back in December, and in March we set our graduation roster. And everyone told me, hey, they don't all make it. They all made it. They May is National Treatment Court Month. Treatment courts, particularly drug courts, have been in existence for 3 decades. They are considered the most successful judicial intervention for substance use and mental health disorders. They employ a team approach, and here's the team, to provide evidence-based treatment, ongoing support, and recovery services. Essentially, the goal of treatment courts is to break the connection between these diseases and the criminal justice system. And the bottom line is, without giving you 100 statistics, it works. Here in this courtroom, we have so many success stories. Kane County's drug court was established back in 2000. In February of this year, we were recertified by the Administrative Office of Illinois Courts. And this means we are following all state and federal standards in serving our high-risk, high-need population. Our evaluations were extremely complimentary of this whole team that I took over as a well-oiled machine and can take no credit for all of the compliments that the evaluators bestowed on the 16th Judicial Circuit. And I'll introduce you to each of them in just a little while. The transformative power of a drug court, though, does not happen in a vacuum. And so, and neither can this event, by the way. So I have a number of people that I want to recognize and a number of people I want to thank. First of all, we can't do what we do without the county board, and the county board supporting our mission, and the county board telling us they'll give us whatever we want, right? That's what they say. You'll give us whatever we want. So I'm going to, in drug court and treatment courts, we do a lot of applauding. So you have to contain yourselves a little bit. I want to hold applause so I can get everybody up, because I don't want to keep it here all day, although I would love to. So I have Mavis Bates from the county board, Leslie Judy. I can have you stand up, please. Chris, and I'm sorry, Pius, Bill Roth, and Michelle Gumbs. Did I miss any other county board members? And Molina. All right. I also want to have some other important people stand up. Where is Lisa Ost from probation, head of adult court services, a huge support to our program. Dennis Carr is here. Dennis is the chairman of the Kane County Specialty Courts Foundation. Without that foundation, we would have to use taxpayer monies to really follow the state and federal standards in terms of incentives and social activities and those kinds of things that the foundation pays for. So Rochelle Conant is our public defender. She was unable to be here today, and she certainly sends her congratulations. I have not applauded for you people yet. Keep saying that. And I think the state's attorney, David Monster, was unable to be here. Another huge support to not only this program, but other programs. And also Sheriff Kane is not here with us today, but another tremendous support for all of this. So thank you all for being here. Could we please give them a round of applause? Now you may sit. I wanted to thank 2 people in particular, and I would ask Yarnell King and Zachary Barron to speak. Already got that in. So Yarnell is our bailiff in Courtroom 217, and Deputy Barron is our deputy that's usually in our courtroom. While they're not technically on the team and they don't come to staffing, I think all of you folks would agree, and all of you folks, there are so many participants and alums here, I'm so amazed, would agree that they are a very important part of your day-to-day coming to court. And sometimes unpleasant things happen and people have to go where they don't want to go. And the deputy takes them in with a kind word and, supportive. I see him rub people's backs while they're standing in front of me. I keep everything calm and remind them that those things. And then Yarnell checks everybody in every day and just is such a source of strength and inspiration to everyone. So I know we, on behalf of the team, wanted to give you two a big round of applause. And I don't have a list of all the guests that are here, but I wanted to thank our treatment partners, and I will not name them all, but Upper Center, Gateway, Serenity House, Evergreen House, Daryl's House, all of those folks that give support to our people, help them find housing, transportation, anything that they might need. We could not do this without you. This event is, I had no idea, is a massive undertaking. If I told you everything everyone did, you'd be here all day. So I'm going to do rapid fire. First of all, if I don't say you know who you are, I appreciate it. But Andrea, Jason, Dana, Karen, Jake, Michael, Peter, Ellen, Matt, Alicia, Phil, Emily, Randy, Jeff, Melora, Jalissa, Judge Cruz, Nancy, Christy, Josh. I cannot thank you all enough for everything you did to rearrange this entire room. We have new technology and everything that happens to get this going today. So then second to last, I want to thank all of the family members and friends of the participants, as well as the participants who are here, who are still in Groveport and are not graduating today. We have done our level best to return these people to your lives as their best possible selves, to be the best they can be for your families, for their jobs, for everything that you need them to do, and you knew they could do, but for this disease that they all suffer from. So we appreciate all of you coming today. And then finally, my colleague and retired colleague. My nose runs when I talk a lot, so this is the problem. I would like to express my gratitude for their appearance here today, and what a delightful and wonderful turnout. I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate you coming here today, but also with the other treatment courts, it seems like we have something every week or so. And at least to my face, you don't complain about all the emails I send, and you keep showing up, and you keep showing up for the participants, for the court system. I think it's really great for the county board to see how we are all in this together, because the truth is mental health and substance use disorder affects all of our folks. There is not a single one that it does not affect. And so I appreciate that we are all in this together to help improve the services that we offer throughout the court system. I want to specifically introduce each and every one. So I'll have you stand up and wave, hold your applause. Chief Judge Villa, and I would have had Judge Villa and Judge Cruz sit up here with me today, but as you can see, we had so many graduates, there wasn't room for the judges. So Chief Judge Villa, Chief Judge, self-explanatory, Judge Tegler. Judge Tegler sits in our felony courtroom and has a number of graduates on this stage that have come from his courtroom and been allowed to apply. Judge Yetter also sits in the felony courtroom. Judge Cruz. Judge Cruz is the presiding judge of our newest treatment court, the DUI treatment court, and I'll talk about that shortly. Judge Johnson. Judge Johnson sits in family court. Former Chief Judge Hull, now sitting in felony court. I'm going to skip you. Judge D. Giovanni, the presiding judge of our family division. Judge Clark Cower, who is a floater judge. She goes everywhere and does everything. Judge Lab, family division. We have Judge Catherine Moran, RET, retired, and my dear friend who agreed to come today to support me and someone else. Judge Clement, felony judge. I want to tell you something about Judge Clement. I tried to go door to door to all the judges who had graduates to tell them who from their courtrooms was graduating. And sometimes the judges in the felony court don't spend very much time with these folks. They say they're going to apply and they go. Judge Clement remembered all of them. He remembered each one that had come through his courtroom. Or he was really good at faking it, but I'm pretty sure he knew. Judge Phil Hingerman, he is another of our floater jack of all trades judges. Judge Karga sits in juvenile delinquency. Our newest judge, Judge Yoon Yoon, in Jackson Criminal Division. Judge Mike Nolan, this is his courtroom. And then I can't see, is that Judge Abraham, Judge Camargo? Judge Camargo sits in our domestic violence courtroom. And Judge Abrahamson, RET, retired, also former felony judge as well. And Judge Carriata, behind the tall people, sits in abuse and neglect. And of course, we have retired judge and friend of the program, former drug court judge, Judge Patty Gold. So you may all be seated. Thank you so much. So last but not least, certainly not least, I want to present to you, I can't look at that'll be retired Judge Marmarie Castelny. Before becoming a judge in 2013, I did not really know Judge Castelny. I knew who she was, but we hadn't been in the same legal circles prior to that. But right when I became a judge, she was assigned to drug court. And I was hearing first appearances. And pretty soon she was having me handle some things for her, letting me know when someone's going to come through a bond call. And I started to ask questions and really talk to her. And I was able to see through going to graduations and hearing what she had to say and going to the events that the court system could really actually change people's lives rather than just moving right off the them. And I found the work that she was doing to be an inspiration. She really made the rest of us look good. Her contributions to drug court for the 11 years before her graduation, along with treatment alternative court, veterans court, DUI treatment court, cannot be overstated. She worked tirelessly to uphold all national and state standards. She stayed up to date on the latest research about how to run our treatment courts, on pharmacology, drug testing, the opioid crisis, medically assisted treatment, mental health treatment, to name a few. And she lobbied to make sure our team members and other judges were provided training at the state and national level. She worked with court services to secure grants, again, to try to do everything we could to take the burden off the taxpayers and to be able to provide these services through Bureau of Justice grants and SAMHSA grants. And just a few examples that I was provided was totaling over $2.3 million while she was working with court services on this grant. Substance use disorder is said to be a disease of isolation, and drug court seeks to change that. She has in all aspects been active in thinking of, promoting, attending, and championing events for the participants, including growing these graduations, family fun days. I did hear that she never won the chili cook-off, so I guess it wasn't rigged. Family fun day, picnics, goat yoga, the holiday parties, and service events at Markland, Feed My Starving Children. She worked tirelessly to provide outlets for everyone in this program. She has helped graduates be placed on Illinois Supreme Court committees and the Kane County Opioid Task Force. She spoke and continues to speak. Sometimes she calls me and said, "Hey, I went and spoke at this place today about drug court." Shedding light on the positive impact of treatment courts in the community. She serves and is going to continue to serve on a Supreme Court committee. And one of her most popular accomplishments, along with Chief Judge Bowles, was bringing to us Forrest, the Wonder Dog. He is very popular. I asked a couple people and I got a really nice quote from longtime coordinator Alicia Klinsky, who's looking at me right now. And what she said was, as a judge, Judge Castelny was compassionate, understanding, patient, and fair, yet firm when needed. She was thorough and consistent with great integrity and character. And I think that really sums it up. I know I laughed really hard the first time I heard someone call her Mama Judge. Judge Castelny was always extremely highly rated in every bar poll. When COVID came, you know, drug court is about a lot of court appearances and in person, right? We had to find a way because that's one of the tenets of drug court is contact, contact, contact. She and the drug court team moved mountains to make sure they could keep up the services that we needed to make it work. Over the 11 years that she served, she certainly could have kept the status quo and it would have been great. She would have stayed right here and it still would have been great, but it wasn't enough for her. And in 2018, she started the Veterans Treatment Court. And under her guidance in 2023, she and Judge Cruz started the DUI treatment court that began last July. I believe as of when we started those courts, we were the only county in the state of Illinois to have all 4 authorized courts. Before her retirement, I mean, a couple years before her retirement, she was already thinking of all of this, the team, the participants, the future participants. And she wanted to make sure that there was not some sudden flip of the switch. So she had us go into training. She wanted these transitions to be as smooth as possible and planned literally years ahead. And it was my honor and privilege to spend the last couple of months of her time with Kane County, getting to observe and spend time with her. I got to meet every participant before it was my turn. I went to a national training and I asked her, I think I counted 1 million questions. Judge Castelli and I were certainly both very grateful to Judges Hall and Villa and Giovanni, because just because I was spending 4 or 6 weeks with her didn't mean I could stop serving the families that I was presiding over in family court. And they all came together so that we could spend as much time together and with you as possible. It is my honor and privilege to continue to work with her. As I said, she's still on the Supreme Court Committee. She has been at every drug court, tax court, and veterans court event since she retired, including 3 days after her last day of work. She's come to every party that we've had, and she has come to court most Wednesdays to bring Forrest. Forrest gets to come in the courtroom. She stays out in the hall to lend an ear or give some advice or a pat on the back. Judge Castelli has stood up here over and over again and said to the graduates, once in drug court, always in drug court. She is walking that walk, and we could not be more appreciative of that. I got to have her daughter come today. I know her daughter and her son are both very proud of her. I know her sister Shalon is watching because we reached out to her. I know that they are lucky to have her as a sister and a mom, and I'm lucky to have her as a friend. So, retired Judge Castelli, could you please come on? On behalf of the people of the state of Illinois, the countless participants and families that you have served and saved, and the judges of the 16th Judicial Circuit, along with the drug court team, we would like to present you with this token of our appreciation for your dedication to the special service, and of course, we thank you for your
So on my ride here today, I thought to myself, how lovely, I'm going to a graduation for 15 people that I truly love and care about, and I have no stress today because I'm not going to have to make a speech and I'm not going to have any attention paid to me. Little did I know, these are some of the best secret keepers. Yeah, I should have expected my judicial friends, but I'm thrilled. Thank you so much. This is beyond what I deserve, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the wonderful team I had the opportunity to work with. I've truly enjoyed working with Judge Downs and getting her ramped up. I have a feeling that the state is going to ask me to help other counties plan for transitions in the future because this one went so beautifully. But truth be told, when Judge Golden retired, I had subbed for her, much like Judge Downs subbed for me when I was out of town. And I understood the value of these kinds of programs. And when she retired, I went to the chief judge and said, if no one else is ahead of me, I would really like to be the drug court judge. And to my honor, I was given that assignment and then eventually took over the mental health court call, and then we started the veterans court program. And it has been the highlight of my career to do this because justice has always been important to me. That's why I went to law school. But justice standing alone is fairly meaningless. Justice with care and compassion and the transformative power that the courts can often lead, that's what gives my journey in the law meaning. And so I celebrate every one of these graduates here. But the truth is, these graduates, the hard work they did came from a team that is outstanding and really the best in the state. And I'm so honored to have served with them, and I really want to thank all of you for making my time in drug court so meaningful and productive to me. So thank you very much, team. Thank you again for this honor.
Now I would like to introduce again Chief Judge Phillips.
I won't have anything memorable to say today, so I'll be brief. If you've heard me say this before, I'm going to say it at every drug court graduation that I attend. It is one of my favorite things that I do as a judge. It was one of the first things, I think it was the actual first thing I did back in 2013 when I get sworn in, and it is continually something that I strive to make sure I can meet. And the reason is pretty simple. We don't really do anything positive in courts. We don't really celebrate people in courts. There's usually a dispute between people in civil courts or in family divisions. There are small victories. There's adoption day, things of that nature, helping someone in abuse and neglect. But it's rare that we get an opportunity to really celebrate people. And we celebrate two things with drug graduation and in the drug court regularly. One, we celebrate the goodness that's in other people to make other people's lives better. And I think it is impressive every time I hear all the work and effort and see all the work and effort that the men and women of the staff of the drug court and our additional specialty courts put into making the lives of people like this better. And to all of you, it's about celebrating all of you. I hope you take that seriously. You're being celebrated today for not only who you were, but who you are and what you did to get. That's why none of us should be standing up here too long without rendering the wonder that it is to see everybody having this accomplishment. I said it before, I'll say it again. I truly wonder whether I would have the same strength, the same support, the same skill sets all of you must have to have this accomplishment. Congratulations to all.
All right, and now graduates. Okay, so every single person in this room, I would guess, no matter the reason for your attendance today, has been impacted by substance use disorder and or mental health disorder. Either you yourself, a family member, a friend, a colleague, a neighbor, and on and on. Substance use disorder does not discriminate. It is found in people who had happy upbringings, people with childhood trauma, people who are athletes, college students, educated people, business owners, students, laborers, mothers, fathers, people who went to public school, private school, grandparents, homeowners. And I've just described the people on the stage. These are the backgrounds of the people here and the people in the room. And they're just like us, and they have this disease. The drug court team and I are just so proud of these 15 men and women. They come to this program with high needs for treatment and a high risk to reoffend without significant life intervention in every aspect of their life. For many, drug court is an alternative to prison. But in order to make it to this graduation, their motivation has to shift to real change and transformation. It's just too demanding not to. It is intensive supervised probation. There are a lot of rules. Right? No two paths are the same. When they first come in and for a long time, they have to come to court in person every single week. Plus, they have to come to the judicial center a bunch of other times to meet with their probation officer, have drug tests, go to see the coordinator. They have to do a variety of things called IP, IOP, OP, PAPE, MRT, DBT, CRS, CST, CBT. These mean something to a lot of people in the room. But those are all time-consuming programs that they have to participate in order to address all of their needs. While that's all happening, many of them are finding new housing, new friends, new families. I'm not exaggerating. There are people who have to leave behind every single friend they have because that does not support the choices they're making for their lives. They are asked to come into drug court and completely change everything. And they did it. And it's not easy. it's not easy. I hope, certainly hope, and what they've told me is that they found it worth it in the end. They participate in all kinds of events during this that they have to come to. For example, there are a lot of participants here today, and I'm so very happy to see all of you. All the while, they're working, raising children, sometimes grandchildren, paying their bills, paying for their housing, buying cars, getting new driver's licenses. The team wanted to give you a glimpse into these activities and hear from the graduates themselves through a video presentation. And then two of our graduates are going to share their story with you. So at this time, I will have Peter play our video.
Ramblers in the wilderness, we can't find what we need. We get a little restless from the search and get a little worn down in between. Like a bull chasing the matadors, a man left to his own schemes. Everybody needs someone beside him, shining like a lighthouse from the sea. Brother, let me be your shelter, never leave you all alone. I can be the one you call when you're low. Brother, let me be your fortress when the night winds are driving home. Be the one to light the way, bring you home. Face down in the desert now, there's a cage locked around my heart. I found a way to drop the keys when my failures were. Now my hands can't reach that far. I ain't made for rivalry, I can never take the world alone. I know that in my weakness I am strong, but it's your love that brings me home. Brother, let me be your shelter, never leave you all alone. I can be the one you call when you're low. Brother, let me be your fortress when the night winds are driving home. Be the one to light the way, bring you home. And when you call and need me near, saying where you go, brother.
In the past 2 years, what I'm most proud of is being able to be more acclimated with my little ones, not running the streets like I used to. I no longer hang around the same people I hang around. I no longer go in the same atmosphere as I used to hang around. Really more so just having liberty to do what I want, even though I'm in this program, but I'm not in the cell. I'm not sharing showers with people. I'm not sharing toilets. I'm not eating bad food. So just more of my freedom. That's what I'm proud of.
I'm most proud of staying clean, keeping a job, following the rules. Just living right, period, basically.
I'm proud of rebuilding my life and mending fences along the way that were broken.
I'm most proud of maintaining the longest job I've had so far. Back then I couldn't do that. I'm proud of being able to think clearly and not having that fogged up memory anymore. And I'm proud of having more ambitions than I did before.
I am most proud of having a relationship with my kids, and last 2 years as I got my sobriety back.
Estoy muy orgulloso de haber cambiado mi vida. Estoy muy orgulloso de estar en este programa, porque este programa me cambió la vida completamente. Estoy muy orgulloso de haber aceptado ser un adicto para poder cambiar. Estoy muy orgulloso de ser parte de este programa. Es un programa maravilloso, es un orgullo para mí decir que estuve en esta corte. Es un orgullo para mí haber recuperado mi familia, haber recuperado mi tiempo, mi salud. Estoy orgulloso de muchas cosas gracias a este programa y sobre todo haber dejado las drogas. Ese es el orgullo más grande que yo tengo y muy agradecido para este programa.
I'm most proud of my sobriety in the last 2 years because I've came a long way.
Probably my change in mindset. I definitely have a different perspective on a lot of things in life. I look at a lot of things differently. I learned to not react off emotion so much and just think before I act.
That I've been clean, and that drug help entering drug court, and it really kind of like changed my life around. It bettered me as a person, as a father, as a husband. It helped me. It's been helping me keep focus on life and my goals, and I have reached a lot of goals that I set ahead of myself, and in these last 2 years I've been able to reach them. So.
I am most proud of the last couple years from being able to work on my recovery and continue my sobriety for almost 2.5 years now, and bring my family back together.
Probably getting my 1 year sober.
The most proudest thing or what I've accomplished, just getting my life together. I'm going into 20 months sobriety.
Success, I'm going to keep working and stay away from people, places, and things. And just as long as you just stay focused and go to your meetings and keep up with your sponsor and do all that, I'm gonna have a great life. I turned myself all around, and I love being sober, and my family is so proud of me, and I'm proud of myself. And I thank drug court a lot.
Just becoming a stronger man for my family, able to provide for my kids, help my mom, just overall becoming a better citizen.
My success looks like now paying my bills on time, having clothes on my back, having food to eat, being communicative, effective communication with my family, being able to go out in social functions, and just handling my business when it comes to finances and really everything. So.
So being in drug court, an advice I'd give people, when you first come in this program, you have to find a routine. It's going to be hard. They're going to have you do a lot of meetings. There's going to be a lot of recovery. But you have to take it serious, and you have to find a good routine. When I first got in here, I really wasn't taking it serious. I mean, I had some good stuff going on, but I wasn't taking it serious. I was getting sanctioned. I was getting positive drug tests. But if you just take it serious, you don't use, you stay sober. That's like the main big part. Pass all your drug tests, because they test you 2-3 times out of the week, and be on time, to your treatment, whether it's at Edgar Center, Serenity House, or you're doing MRT. Just make sure you're consistent with doing that stuff, and it'll take you a long ways.
I think the one piece of advice I would share is like I feel like you gotta have your mind made up that you wanna like be clean and sober and you wanna follow the rules. And I think once you do that, everything will fall in line.
I feel like the program isn't easy, but it's only as hard as you make it.
A piece of advice that I would give is that one should never give up on what they're trying to accomplish in life. I used to do that a lot, and now that I put myself in that position to actually want to, I've accomplished many things that I wanted to in life. It takes time, but eventually you'll get there and it will feel really good.
Don't look back.
Mi consejo para todos los que están en este programa, para los nuevos que están entrando, mi consejo es que se pongan al 100% en el programa. Mi consejo es que quiten de su mente el volver a usar después de hacer este programa. Mi consejo es que no lo hagan por cumplirle al juez, por cumplirle solamente ese tiempo que la ley está exigiendo. Háganlo por ustedes mismos. No lo hagan por nadie más, háganlo por ustedes mismos.
It would be to keep going, and when they say go to Serenity House, to stick with it, because it helps you build structure again.
Most definitely throughout any trials and tribulation, just don't give up and definitely take any suggestions, even if you don't completely agree with them. Just whatever suggestions that the drug court team gives you or anybody that you may in your recovery give you, definitely take them seriously. They're not saying it for no reason. And despite you feeling like you can't do it or it's too hard, just stick through it.
I would say just be honest with yourself. In this whole journey, it's like if you're not honest with yourself, then you're gonna fail, because you cannot proceed in life without being honest with yourself. Or
my advice is to give yourself a chance and get a good sponsor and a good sponsee family that can help you out with all kinds of situations.
Just take everything one day at a time, and try to follow all the rules. And
The advice I give anyone in drug court is just do it for yourself, don't do it for anybody else, because it's gonna be a hard time. But keep going and you accomplish everything you want.
I would suggest everybody to work the program. The program really works as long as you work it. I came a long way and I did it. I'm so proud of myself, and I thank drug court and the judge for helping me. And I just suggest everybody work the program. It's a great program.
I would say probably just taking advantage of the drug court is very helpful and basically saved my life.
I'm gonna say at first sobriety seems difficult, but as time goes on, just with everything, the body heals, the mind heals. Eventually, I got in the swing of things and it became gradual. Everything normalized, and slowly but surely life became good again.
time, I would like to call up. Hey, my name is Alicia. I was supposed to be giving this speech 2 graduations ago, but hey, third time is a charm, right? So I'm on and off these substances a good portion of my life, but it didn't really become a problem until I was about 17 or 18 years old. I got sober and got pregnant with my daughter right when I after I turned 20. Life was great for a really long time, and I remained sober up until I got mixed up with the wrong people. Things quickly went downhill, and I was arrested for felony possession of a controlled substance in February of 2021, and a month later in March for felony forgery. Before I knew it, I was in Chicago every day, and the only time I really be coming back is to see my daughter. I fell deep into getting high, along with the lifestyle that came with the guns, the drugs, and the bad. After some months of fighting those cases, I was offered drug court. I very faintly remember the intake phone call to Alicia Clinton, even though she swears up and down she remembers it clear as day. She thought that I would be a great candidate for the program. I came to court high on my first court date on July 27th, 2021, and was taken into custody until the bed opened it up at a treatment facility where I went for community dates. When I got out, I went to a sober living house in DeKalb. I was doing really good when I first got out, but then I started to get too comfortable too quickly. It went downhill again very quickly, and I ended up crashing my car into a tree and eventually getting kicked out of the sober living house. I went back to treatment and then to a halfway house for 3 months, and then a 3/4 house for 3 months after that, which is Serenity House, for that name a lot. As much as I hated the tight structure in the beginning, at the time, looking back now, it was exactly what I needed. The entire drug court team will probably tell you that I'm a little bit impulsive sometimes. And although my sobriety maintained, I continued to drive, and I may or may not have left. I've never been in handcuffs more times than I have during drug court. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, like, why did I just stop driving? And I wish I could tell you, because it probably would save me a lot of sanctions and a lot of jail visits. Finally, after my last 5-day jail sanction in September 2023, I finally 100% gave in. I took every suggestion. I stopped trying to take shortcuts, and I started trying to manipulate my way out of situations, and I fully surrendered. I went through a lot of highs and lows, and I've almost had every sanction in drug court, whether it's write a paper, community service, drug court, house arrest, and then jail. At one point, I was on a motion to terminate from drug court, and I thought because I wasn't getting high anymore, I had it all figured out. I realized eventually that staying sober was only part of the battle, and in reality, much more came with it. You can rebuild your life a million times over, but it's never going to maintain, or you're never going to be able to upkeep all your successes and achievements if you don't work on yourself. I learned that very late in the process. But now that I have learned it, after all that, I finally have a 2-bedroom apartment of my own for me and my daughter. I have a good job with goals to grow within the company. I now have a chance to gain back into the volunteer fire department, and I can get my license back in June. Definitely the most important thing to me is now I'm more mentally present as a mother. I'm able to be the mother that my daughter deserves, and the personal growth throughout this process to be able to maintain all of this. I want to say thank you to two judges, Castoni and Downs. Castoni, you've seen a lot of highs and lows. I'm sure I've given you multiple grades. Downs, I have just recently met you, but I do appreciate everything that you have done since you started being a judge for drug court. I wanted to say thank you to all the probation officers. Each of you played a part in this journey. Lachansky, Archuleta, thank you for always backing me up. Lachansky, I can now thank you for rooting for jail so many times, because I definitely needed it, even though at the time I didn't like it so much. Alicia Clemke, thank you for rooting so hard for me to get into the program. Thank you for never losing faith in me or giving up in me. And thank you for speaking life into me when I felt like giving up the last time I was in jail. Lena. Lena was my probation officer. She went through every last high, low, medium, absolutely every last thing with me. I called her for either important things, no reason at all. I called her because I was bored,
call her because I felt like she didn't have a job, so I would just call her all day because she had time, right? Nonetheless, she fought for me around any twist and turn, any corner, even when I was completely wrong, she still chose to see the good in me and fight for me. I definitely don't feel like I would probably be on the stage today if it wasn't for Liam. So thank you for all of that. I appreciate it. And my daughter. Obviously, she probably can't understand what I'm saying. She is 3, but I do want to thank my daughter for being my biggest motivation throughout all this process, and my parents as well for making sure I get to all of my drops, court dates, any obligation necessary. My sister for answering my calls when I'm about to make an impulsive decision, and she levels me out a little bit. She's like, I don't think that's a good idea, but hey, if you do it, call me from jail. I'll pick up your calls and not put money on your books, but I don't think you should do it. It's definitely been a really, really long journey, but I am grateful to be here and I'm appreciative and grateful for everybody I met.
Now I would like to introduce Byron.
Hello, everyone. My name is Byron. I want to thank everyone for coming out today and helping us celebrate this special moment. I want to start off by saying thanks to both judges, Judge Swami. And I want to thank the whole entire BLC team and whoever put this team together. It's my job. You guys are great. You guys help me a lot. And I want to give special thanks to Lena, Nicole, and Quincy. The 3 PO. I want to thank y'all for being on top of me. Y'all was on my back, in my face, talking crazy to me all the time. But you know what? It really helped me. You know, nothing come easy in life. If it's too easy, you know, when it came hard, but I got it. And I really appreciate you guys for being there for me, speaking up for me, and I really appreciate you guys. I've been around drugs all my life since I was, I want to say, 34 years old. You know, I always told myself that I would never do drugs. I'm gonna just sell and try to make me some money. But that wasn't the case. You know, I thought the only thing I was gonna do was settle, make ends meet, but I was wrong. I started drinking and smoking weed at the age of 9. I got introduced to cocaine at the age of 18, you know, just to party and to have fun on the weekends. But at the age of 30, that's when I knew I had a problem. I realized I had that problem. Only close family members that really I thought that knew was probably my wife. But I was wrong. I thought I could tell. Give me a second. I was wrong. I don't think others could tell when I was high because I was that fly guy, still had all my material stuff. I always had money, kept a job, and I always had a roof over my family head. My addiction started to get more worse until I found myself using every day, every chance I got, even to the point where I was using at my job. I caught a case chasing my bad habits, not thinking it would stop me. I continued to use and began because my health, I had called health issues, and I started to feel depressed, and I didn't want to be around anyone, especially if they wasn't using with me. My life was going downhill, and I was blind, didn't see it coming. But God had other plans for me. He knew what I needed, and it was crazy. I've been there 4 times, and it didn't help. Every time I got out, it didn't help me. When I needed this drug court program more than anything. Yes, God gave it to me. The best thing that happened to me was the drug program, and besides my wife. When I entered drug court, it has been a blessing to me and my family. It really turned my life around and helped me get back on track to the person that I know I can be. Now I'm focused. No matter what the situation, I stay focused in life. I achieved a lot since I've been in drug court. I recently opened 2 successful businesses right now, and they're still going. I spend more time with my kids and wife. My health is better. Well, I'm gonna work on that as well. My life is great right now, and I owe it all to drug court. Great judge right here. I couldn't do it without you guys. You know, I did a whole 360, and I'm telling you, I lost my dad last year to drugs. Great lady back there. He been sober for over 25 years. He's been taking me to meetings with him. I love going to meetings with him. I'm not gonna hold you guys up, but I want to say something to the new participants of drug court. You guys can make it, you know, you guys can achieve this accomplishment that we did. You know, one thing I can say to you guys, be honest with yourselves, be honest with yourselves, and let the team members help you guys, because it's their job, but I really think, I know that they care. You know, they just showed me that they care. At first, I didn't think they cared, but they care. Trust me, I know. And just stick with y'all goals in life. That's it. Thank you.
So to give you an idea of what our graduates were facing when they came into drug court, I looked at the highest charge they all had when they came in to see what their range for the penitentiary would have been. It was 49 years on the bottom end to 182 years on the top end. The Illinois Department of Corrections publishes how much it costs to keep an inmate in prison. It was $45,828 per year back in 2022 when most of these folks fled in. That means we would have spent $2.2 million to $8.3 million to house them in the Department of Corrections with little or no preparation for what to do when they got out. So I would venture a guess we would have spent another 2.2 to 8.3 million housing them once again in the Department of Corrections. Many of these participants had cases completely dismissed this morning. Many of them were terminated from probation successfully. And I want everyone to know that they've been responsible for paying for nearly $30,000 in fines and costs just in Kane County, because as they would tell you, many of them had cases littered across the northern part of the state, and they paid those off too in order to graduate here. So I would like to show you their before and their after. Always a highlight. So Jeff B. And like I said, we're big clappers, but because of our time, we're going to wait till the end to applaud. So Jeff B. There he is. Jeff B. was a local high school track star. He was a college scholarship athlete at Eastern Illinois University. But while he was there, his addiction took root, became his priority. He lost his scholarship, could no longer afford to go to school, and then became involved in the criminal justice system. He spent time in prison, he lost his driver's license, and his life was not what he pictured it would be. Since being given the opportunity to participate in drug court, he was motivated by wanting to be a better father and provide for his children. He's regained his driver's license and CDL. He's returned to school on scholarship. He runs his own trucking business. He told me, you cannot be successful if you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out in recovery. And he also told me that he has made good friends in drug court and will encourage them, and I think some of them are here, to keep at it. Willie C. Prior to pleading into drug court, Willie C. had been to prison 4 times and was either in prison and or on probation or parole without any real stable housing from his early 20s until he pled in. It was not smooth sailing for him in this program at first, and he had to be given formally a second chance. But once he was given that second chance and decided he was going to make this work, he finished the program sanction free. During his time with us, he started college, became a supervisor at his job, and bought a car. I believe, from talking to him, that he has learned it's okay to take care of himself. And once he was able to do that, his successes continue to grow. He's motivated by his children, and I know he will continue on the path that he's on now. Holly D. Holly D is such an incredible story, and everyone wanted me to tell it. See, drug court's hard. And depending on your charges, you might be given an offer from the state that's a lot easier than drug court. And your lawyer doing his job might tell you you'd be crazy to go to drug court. It's too hard, it's too much, it's not worth it. You can do it. You can just take probation. She actually got sent back to her trial court and begged again to come back. She was the one who said, I need this, I want this, and had to go against the advice of her counsel and the advice of a lot of other people. Ultimately, she did what she knew was the best thing for her. She is graduating from this program sanction-free. She bought a house. She has maintained an unbelievably high level of motivation. She says she has found her inner peace and has been able to mend a number of broken relationships since living a life of true recovery. Fabrizio. Fabrizio had some dreams and goals in his teen years that didn't work out for him, that were through no fault of his own. But he was not able to pivot and make better choices for his future. He ended up dropping out of his first semester of college and sold drugs to support his drinking and drug use, and ultimately was charged when he was 22. It took some time for him to get into drug court, but now he says to me, life is good. He has worked at his job for over 18 months. He had the opportunity to do some community service and found he really enjoyed helping others instead of just being solely focused on himself. He rebuilt his relationships with his family and knows that setting boundaries with people who don't support him is one of his keys to recovery. We as a team all know that he's a bit reluctant to leave us and leave our support, but we will always be here for him and the other graduates, and we expect he'll be a great part of our alumni group and activities. Sarah. Sarah spent all of her time prior to being arrested on her last cases, essentially finding and using drugs, which is and was for her a dangerous, traumatizing, hopeless way of life. She had never had treatment and was not in a good place with her children, and she had burned a lot of bridges with her families and friends. But Sarah has come so far. She has worked so hard on her sobriety and recovery. She's gained the trust of her family. She's had the same job for over 2 years. She's able to spend time with her children. She's built her credit. She's purchased a car. She has found pro-social activities that she wants to spend more time on after graduation. She credits concentrating on staying in the moment and working the steps. And I know she will continue to do those things, and that will be keys to her success. Umberto. Umberto is kind of a celebrity in these parts. Umberto was the first drug court participant in 2000. So that doesn't sound like a great story, does it? It's absolutely a great story. He was not ready. He was not ready and he was discharged. But this is a program that believes in second chances. And 20, I would call them tumultuous, drug and alcohol fueled years later. He is older, wiser, and a success story in every aspect of his life. He runs his own business, a body shop and towing company. He pays quarterly taxes for that business. And that's after a lifetime of side jobs and hustling to support substance use and try to put a patchwork of finances together for him and his 5 children. He is such a hard worker, and he's been sober the whole time I've been there. See, most of these people I only know as sober individuals because they came to me, I came to them in December. But we've had to work on Umberto learning to relax and not working so hard. He is blessed to have a supportive family and tells us that at the end of this graduation is not the end of his probation term with his family. That's what he told me. They will help keep him accountable. He is the proud father of 5, and he has certainly made the most of this second chance. Cody J. When Cody J came into the program, he was using cocaine every single day. And in addition, he described himself as described himself as a lifelong alcoholic. And I think he means probably from a very, very young age. When he was arrested here, he had cases to deal with in other counties as well. But motivated by wanting to be a better father and be out of the system once and for all, Cody finished this program sanction-free. He successfully completed a Cook County case that had significant fines and costs on top of the ones he paid here. He's employed. He loves being there for his children. One of the keys to his success in the program and his sobriety is constantly working on patience. That's what he told me. And I think that is a skill each and every one of us can work on. He hopes to restart his own landscaping business, and I don't doubt he can do it if that's the path he chooses. Alicia, our speaker. When Alicia came into this program, and I know she told you a lot about it, but she was unemployed, didn't have custody of her child, was kicked out of her house, and was focused on fueling her addiction. She was couch surfing and doing what she needed to do to numb her pain and battle all of her past issues. Today, obviously, she has come a long way. And she, I think, demonstrates that no one has the same path. Just because some folks were sanction-free doesn't mean it was easy for them to be sanction-free. And just because Alicia described, which I wouldn't have said that she did, she's had every sanction, different paths for different people to get them where they need to be. She didn't quite sell it, but she has a job that provides her financial stability, and she has a 401k. She is on track for promotion. As she says, she has her own apartment. She's even gone back to school. And most importantly, she's excited, as she said, to be able to raise her daughter and be a great role model for her. Byron, as he told you, Byron was no stranger to the Department of Corrections when he came into DRC. And I think, as we say about some people, they probably could have done a prison term standing on their head. He told me he thought he would just get through this program. On my words, I think he thought he could pull one over on everybody and be smarter and get through it without any real changes in his life. In the years leading up to those charges, he was using cocaine every day. He was wreaking havoc on his family relationships, finances, and his children. But truly, as he told you, once Byron finally embraced how badly he needed a life of recovery to accomplish his goals and keep his family together, he found strength in others, like his grandfather, who we've heard about on many occasions, and I'm so happy to have him here today. He has his own successful, legitimate business, and other participants, which I think is such a compliment to Byron. Other participants have spoken about him being an inspiration and support. He will also be working with us to explore implementing a mentor program for drug court participants. He told me he wanted to do that, and once you say something like that, the drug court judge will hold you to it. Richard L. Prior to coming to drug court, I learned that's not Richard L. There he is. There he is. Prior to coming to drug court, Richard was a daily meth user, something I just learned. And he turned to be a daily meth user because he stopped using cocaine and alcohol because of the problems cocaine and alcohol caused him. The truth is, Richard's family was falling apart, and he was motivated by wanting to fix his family, his marriage, and live the life of the family man that he believed that he could and should be. Today, he is another graduate that sits before you sanction-free. He has his family back together. He's obtained his CDL. He works for a landscaping company. His transformation is truly remarkable. And I will always have a connection to him because Jackson, who I think is here, and I share the same birthday, a few years apart. Now we have Andrew. Andrew came into drug court at 22 years old. Out of high school, he seemed to be headed in the right direction, in a direction any parent would be proud. But his drug use took over, and he was unable to follow that path. His life became completely unmanageable. He reported these are his words, drinking all day, every day, and 100% of his friends had been in trouble with the law. 100% of his friends. Drug court was not his first attempt at treatment. The beginning, as I understand it, again, I only know him as delightful for the last 5 months, but at the beginning, he struggled against the rules and structure of drug court. and even wanted to withdraw from the program at one point. But ultimately, he didn't give up. He has embraced taking advice and letting other people help him rather than thinking his way is the best way. I think Andrew's future is so bright. He's been at the same job for over a year. He's been promoted several times and is a supervisor, even at his young age. He bought a car, is financially independent, and is saving money to go back to school. I cannot wait to see what Andrew does next. Salvador. Here he is. Prior to being charged with the cases that brought him to drug court, Salvador was a hard worker. But he also recognized that the more money he made, the more he could spend on cocaine, and fortified that with alcohol. He also came to drug court at a young age with a daughter that he needed to be more responsible for. Since coming into drug court for the first time in his life, he's been working year-round and meeting his financial obligations to his family. He is such a positive force in recovery that he became a peer leader at Gateway. Salvador says he was lucky to have very supportive parents, and he wants his dad to know how much he appreciates him driving to his obligations for drug court. But Salvador really found his success when he decided he needed recovery for himself and not just all the other people in his life. And with that attitude and his family's support, there's nothing Salvador can't do. Jamie. So, as I said, most of these folks were smooth sailing from the time I took over in December. They're late in the program, they only have court once a week. But Jamie was doing well with her sobriety, and I'm told by the team, Jamie came to the brink of being terminated from the program. I mean, having a hearing with the state arguing that the program could no longer help her. But the judge allowed her to stay in the program. When I met her in December, I'll be honest, not even knowing that, if you had told me she'd be at this graduation, I would have been a little skeptical. We already talked about that. But she was maintaining her sobriety, but it seemed to me she was only going through the motions. And she still believed that when things went wrong, she needed to cover it up and she needed to lie about it. And that does not work in a life of recovery. She ended up getting caught working someplace she was not supposed to be because it didn't support her changing people, places, and things. And she was kicked out of her sober living house. But another chance was given and she really seized it. In the past 5 months, she has completely turned it around. She was accepted at a new living arrangement, and I don't think she has any immediate plans to leave. She went from getting kicked out of one place to being the house manager of the place she is now. Her whole attitude has changed. She appears lighter, more confident. She rebuilt her relationships with her children, their father, and her grandchild. I know that I hope she knows that her value and worth and that she can continue to be successful by taking care of herself. Robert. When Robert was charged, he reported he had been high more or less every day for the last 5 years, with increased use on the weekend. He also noted that he only associated with people who used one another to get and stay high. When he was locked up, he knew he needed to turn it around, and he started taking advantage of treatment opportunities in the jail, and he became motivated to be a better father. Once Robert decided that this is what he was going to do, there was nothing that could stop him. He's had over 2 solid years of sobriety. He's employed full-time, a car owner, and a present father to his children. He is very serious in court, and I actually was so happy that I finally got him to laugh at something I said to him on the last day he was in court. Today, I thought I probably could have seen him smile today because the state, after seeing what a wonderful job he did in court, fully dismissed his charges, which was not his original plea agreement. But his camera wasn't working, so I didn't get to see him smile. Robert was also sanction-free and a wonderful example of how steady, thoughtful progress leads to success. And last but certainly not least, another one of our youngsters. At the young age of 23, Brian, who is my favorite picture of all of the ones we have, resigned himself to the belief that homelessness and jail would be his whole life. That's what he believed at age 23. He was drinking a 5th of alcohol a day and was ignoring all of his physical and mental health needs. When given the chance to go into drug court, he discovered he could have a future after all, and this program gave him hope. Ryan has been employed at a job with health insurance, is now looking for a better one. He has a bank account. He's paid off his debts. He's increased his credit score. His driver's license was reinstated. He's improved his relationship with his mom, who I have no doubt is very, very proud of him. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present our graduates. All right. In just a moment, I'm going to join the team down below in order to finally give the graduates their certificates. But first, I want to introduce the team. When we were evaluated, as I said, by the AOIC, they raved about this team, their dedication, how they clearly care about the participants, one another, and work so well together. They all go above and beyond to help these participants with everything from getting them into inpatient treatment, getting them new housing when they get kicked out of the old housing, right down to making sure they have a toothbrush. Probation officers take phone calls and troubleshoot crises all the time. These jobs are not for the faint of heart, and I appreciate what each and every one of them do for our teams. So first, I would like to introduce Ray Andrews and have her come forward, and we're going to save our applause till Ray Andrews is our drug court coordinator. She has barely been here longer than me, and the two of us together are doing the very best we can to carry on the great tradition that we inherited. She wears many hats, and I want to tell you that she came up with the idea and worked with the other treatment coordinators, Phil Wessel and Jalissa Gonzalez, to help get challenge coins for each of our graduates. They are beautiful. In the recovery community, sobriety coins are monumental in marking the days you have without using substances. Challenge coins have been given to first responders and military people in times exemplifying courage, honor, and bravery. Traditionally, receiving a coin is a great honor and marks a remarkable accomplishment. We are presenting each graduate today with a challenge coin. It symbolizes their hard work, the obstacles they've overcome. They chose this program. I want to make that clear. You cannot be sentenced to drug court unless you choose. They chose this program. They never gave up. And this coin will also serve as a reminder that you can do anything and that we are always here for you. And as the coin says, no matter where you are in your recovery journey today, don't give up. So joining Ray, I would ask Michael Womack, probation supervisor, Lindsay Lachansky, assistant state's attorney, Juanita Archuleta, assistant public defender, Quincy Owen, probation officer, Nicole Viella, probation officer. And I always say Nicole is the one who's chasing cats because she is in charge of getting all the information from all the treatment providers and every single other person and making 1,000 phone calls and 1,000,000 emails a day. Little Maisha Little, probation officer, Judy Dawson. Judy Dawson is a representative of law enforcement on our team, and she is the jobs guru. Call Judy. You need a job? Call Judy. You want a different job? Call Judy. The miracles this woman performs, cannot say enough. Detective Darrell Williams, Kane County Sheriff's Office, also from our law enforcement. What do you need, Judge? I'll take care of it. Dr. Jenna DiAgostini, Dr. D, from the Kane County Diagnostic Center. Margie Bravo, Ecker Center for Behavioral Health. Felicia Chauvinet, we went over it. I don't think I did it right, Felicia. And Cassandra from Herzog from Gateway. And last but not least, Nina Fisher, probation. So at this time, I would like to enlist the help of Judge Cruz, who I don't know where he's going. Judge Cruz is now the presiding judge of our treatment court, and one of the things that we're striving to do is become a team and be there for one another in the other treatment court. So he is going to help me out. I don't know why your phone is there, but and so we will now have the presentation of the certificates and the forms.
I know Judge Downs took a risk by giving me the microphone. So first of all, thank you all for being here. And before we present and I read the names and present the certificates, I'm going to ask all of our graduates to stand and give a round of applause to all their support. We've heard the phrase people, places, and things multiple times. They've had to get rid of the places, the people, the things that led them or kept that substance use disorder going. You are the support now. You are the people that they're going to rely on. You've become a part of their lives again. So congratulations to you to being supportive to them throughout this process. You can sit. When you hear your name, you're going to walk down, you're going to get your coin, you're going to get your certificate, and go through the line and give congratulations to everyone. But very quickly, the reason my phone is out, Judge Downs talked about us being a team, and when it became obvious to us that we were going to be working together, I sent her this quote. And in my GUI treatment court, I challenged our participants last week. I'm going to admit that I probably watch more TV than I should. I probably listen to more music than I should, but I find a lot of inspiration sometimes in song lyrics and sometimes just in dialogue that you'll see in movies. And I sent her this quote that she told me she was going to use and she didn't, so I decided I'd use it myself. It's from the show Ted Lasso, if you've seen it. An American football coach that goes over to England to coach soccer. And the quote that I shared with my participants last week was, I hope that either of us or none of us are judged by the actions of our weakest moments, but rather than the strength that we show when and if we are given a second chance. I think that's fitting for our participants here. It's fitting for all of our treatment courts that we participate in. We strive to give everyone a second chance and have them look forward instead of look back when it comes to that. One more quote, okay, Christine. I'll share one more quote that I also shared with them yesterday or last week. Same show. Again, if you're not familiar with Ted Lasso, it's one that's worth watching. Now my phone is up here. I'm sorry, real quick. The other quote is, human beings are never going to be perfect. The best we can do is keep asking for help and accepting it when we can. And if you can do that, you'll always be moving towards better. That describes basically our program. We have strong teams. I'm the beneficiary of a strong team that I inherited as well. And we're always pushing. And one of the unique assets is when you see our state's attorneys in the courtroom, individuals generally do not see state's attorneys congratulating them for things and telling them that they've done well and letting them know that they can do this. They never really see a judge asking them how they're doing. Asking them what we can do to help them, things like that. That's the challenge that we have that Judge Castelli laid the groundwork for. And on behalf of all our judges, I can tell you, like Judge Villa said, our chief judge, we would come to these graduations and we would all get jealous of Judge Castelli because she was showing us the tangible effects that a treatment court like this could do. So we thank her for that, and I'm glad to be a part of this along on the team with Judge Downs. All right, so when you hear your name again, you're gonna go down. Oh, and this is not the time to hold your applause. We want to applaud every single graduate as I say their name, please. And we're gonna start off with Jeffrey B. All right, Lily C. Holly D. Fabricio G. Sarah H. Humberto I. Cody J. Alicia K. Byron L. Richard L. Andrew M. Salvador M. Jamie M. Robert W. Ryan W. We were hoping to get everyone squeezed in front so we could get one big picture if it's possible. No, not enough, not enough. Thank you.
So while they're finishing their congratulations, on behalf of the team and the graduates, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming and ask you to please join us for cake. And if you have a graduate, we'd love for you to come back in the courtroom for some photos, because my dear friend Dana and also Nancy Feely are taking all kinds of pictures we're going to get to the graduates. But I just want to close by telling the graduates a couple things. I know we've all talked about how this is not the end, and we talked about what does your tomorrow look like, and you all told me it had to look exactly like yesterday, other than having to come to court. And I want to remind you that you didn't come this far to only come this far.
Yeah.
So congratulations. I look forward to seeing what you accomplish next.
A celebration lasts throughout the year. So when you're good guys, when you're loud, you we don't celebrate your party. You know now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. We all celebrate and have a good time. It's time together. It's a thing.